Did you? Where'd you work?
Oh boy, I'm ashamed to admit this. Do you know the answer to this already?
No,
you set me up.
I have a general
I
idea.
don't either.
I worked at the Buckle.
Okay.
And,
Oh,
yeah.
no, you didn't.
And I was infamous. You know, people would try and do that Buckle challenge.
I
You ever heard
did.
of this? Yeah. Where you try and get to the back of the store and out without somebody stopping you trying to sell you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd see them come in and I'd wait. And then right as they thought they were going to get out, and I'd be like, "Hey, can I sell you these pants or something?" And they'd be like, "No." So,
You're always a pretty fashionable guy, so I could see.
I appreciate that, man.
I thought he was going to say line chef at Hooters. I mean, that's what I was thinking of.
I thought he was going to be a bouncer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's probably not my MO there, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
No,
I
man,
did that.
you got to do what you got to do,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and I learned a lot from it. I learned that you don't run from hard work.
Right.
I'll tell you that much, right?
For sure.
And at that time for me too, I was able to, I came to faith, and that's been a really important part of my journey, and the thing that anchors me and roots me, and I think helps me be the husband and father I want to be, and that sort of stuff. So again, there's a verse that says God makes all things work for the good of those who love Him, and so that's been true in my life, and it's been really cool to sort of watch where I was in high school in a pretty dark place to sort of where things are now. And I know none of that's happening unless I have that experience. So it's been a cool journey for me.
Nice.
Kind of no regrets type of, attitude.
Oh, that's like the life mantra. That's probably my number one fear in life is having regrets at the end of it all. I mean,
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Oh yeah,
because of the job that I had, and I thought to myself, man, in 20 years, what am I going to think? And I knew what I was going to think.
Yep.
And there'd be things I'd regret.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. For me too. I mean, I've mentioned to you guys earlier. I lost my dad in 20, and it was to COVID, and it was rough. We were in the room with them, and there was nothing pretty about it.
Yeah.
And this guy was a former Army Ranger, like West Point grad, right? And to see him in that spot made me realize, dude, life is fragile.
Yeah.
It is.
And it can be done like that. And so you got to do it. You do it now. You don't wait. Sure. And I had some opportunities with some clients that I knew if I didn't take advantage of it, I'd never be able to look myself. The 85-year-old me, God willing, I get that far.
Well, I think you're off to a great start, charging, what was it, $340 per 20 minutes?
Yeah.
I think that's a great start.
Yeah, that's gone up. But,
Nice. He really is a lawyer, you guys.
I mean, come on, that was 3 years ago. Like, what are we talking? Or wait, no, that was 7 years ago.
No. This was when he started his recent firm, which we'll get into. Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Inflation's real.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So when did the outdoors start entering your life? Was that around that time, or was that later in life?
So it's a interesting question for me. My dad was not a big outdoorsman. He'd go sleep on the ground for 6 weeks, and the last thing he wanted to do when he got back was go back outside, Yeah. And he didn't grow up with it. He was a city kid from Boston. So, but I had a lot of guys around, neighbors, dads, and a grandfather who was, really into it. And so, I can still remember the first time I shot a gun. It was like a break action 410. And I think I was probably 7 or 8. And I remember thinking, there's something about being out here doing this, not necessarily just shooting animals. Obviously, that's what you're trying to do when you're out there, but it should be out there. That is really impactful for a young guy. And then, especially when I was going through when my parents split, being outside was like the therapy, So, after I graduated from high school and, went to law school and did all that, that was like the thing I chose to do with my time was be outside, going on hunting, fishing trips and all that stuff. So for me, it's been something that I want to be a part of my identity. And I want to give it to my kids because I want them to understand, and I've told you some of the stuff that we do, try to get kids outside for the first time. You can see horizon lines change in a person just when being outside. All of a sudden the world looks a little bit bigger and maybe there's more possibilities out there for me than I thought given my present circumstances, right? So that's what we're trying to do. And, yeah.
Like clarity that comes too, like just
Yes.
being on the water fishing, and it's something you can't really put a finger on. Like I was thinking about this yesterday. Deer camp is special to our family,
Mhm.
you know, and our uncles get together. My brothers are there. My dad's there. We're all back on the farm. And the last thing that's on our minds is, ooh, we got to shoot a deer. Ooh, we got to get
Right,
3 of them
right.
swinging here. No, it's all the other things. And then the crisp, cold morning where you're sitting out there freezing your nuts off, and you're like, what the hell am I doing out here? But you love it. You know what I mean? And it's quiet. You're part of. It feels like you're part of nature. And I don't know, like it. If you don't experience it, you don't know.
For sure. And I think what you're saying right there is it's like you said, you're sitting out there in the cold and you're just like, what am I doing? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's weird. It's like a year later when season is coming up, you're like, God, I can't wait to get back out there and do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and one thing that you hit on deer camp is it's about the people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I didn't mean to come in here and give you guys a sermon today, but there's a verse. My favorite verse is,
We'll take it.
"As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another."
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, whether that's in the Bible or not, it universally to be true.
Absolutely.
So I get around good dudes for a weekend, and we're gonna stay up late, and I'll probably find my way to some bourbon and some scotch. But when I come home, my cup's been filled. And it's because I've been around really good people.
Mm-hmm.
And whether I missed 6 birds, which I probably did, or left some out in the field, doesn't matter. It's exactly what you talked about.
You are who you keep.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's just fun to do those things and take a load off, and you gain perspective too. Like, I don't know, when I'm going on all these road trips, get a lot of windshield time in the fall doing broadcasting football games, and it allows me to just think about how good I have it. And I hate my kids, but they're not that bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get to missing them a little bit. You're only gone for like 3 or 4 hours, so it is nice, whether it's windshield time or out in the field, to have that alone time. I think is important.
It is. It is.